Hey everyone. For today's episode, I want to do something a little bit different. I know I've been trying a lot of different stuff on the channel, but one of the things that I've always really appreciated about the astrophotography community is while, a lot of us may start with a book like this is a great book. You should go buy it, The Backyard Astronomer's Guide. It's on the 4th edition now. Like, I've, tagged it up. This is what got me to start understanding all of the different mounts and what F ratio is and eyepieces, if you're doing visual. The community has so many really intelligent people that have spent countless nights figuring out a lot of the stuff that we're trying to figure out right now. So I want to start this series where I reach out to members of the community that are experts in this thing that, I'm trying to figure out, and share that information with you all through almost like an interview. And so this is one of the first ones. I think we're going to call these Let's Learns, because we can really just sit here and take the time to talk to someone about a thing. Today's interview is with a really nice guy that I met on Discord named Justin. On Discord, it's Loki Astro. And I also have his Instagram, and I'll make sure to put all that stuff up on the screen. But we're going to be walking through the advanced sequencer within Nina. So we're going to talk through some of the basics of the Nina legacy sequencer, but this is really an in-depth conversation of advanced sequencer, and then an even more advanced thing called target scheduler. And so it's a long video, but it's one where, even while I was talking to him, I took a bunch of notes in my notebook of things that I want to make sure to try. And again, I really want to thank Justin for his time. He was really generous. We ended up having like a 2.5 hour long conversation that I've trimmed down to this now. So I hope you enjoy it. Let me know what other topics you guys would like to learn about, but I really do have a list that I want to get better at. And, that's part of this channel is this, learning in public so we can all get better together. So stay tuned. It's a really good video, and let's roll it. I'm Francisco from Deep Sky Labs, and I've only met you on Discord before.
That's correct. Yeah. So that's where I frequent currently. I've got an Instagram, YouTube coming eventually.
So we're here tonight because you offered to help me understand the Nina advanced sequencer. But when I got my Edge 11 set up in full mono with the full filter wheel and all that stuff, I was like, I need to be able to do a lot more things. Like, one of the things for me that was really important was being able to slew and center after a filter change and refocus, because it can take some time when you're shooting through narrowband, right? You're doing 20-30 second exposures to try and get that focus or whatever. Like, you end up wasting time, and it can drift a little bit, and then you end up losing not a lot, but at f10 that can be sort of a lot that you're cropping out. So that was one of the things that drew me to the advanced sequencer first, was the ability to like switch filters, get my focus, and then slew and center again. And I was like, just that, if I can just learn that. So I tried with just that, and then I was like, oh my god, I had to do all of the other things that the legacy sequencer was doing automatically. So slowly I've been troubleshooting my way into like, wait, why didn't it do this? Oh, because I never told it to.
So we're going to start with a trick that I don't think I've seen anyone ever do. And this will, if you're coming from the legacy simple sequencer, this will blow your mind. It is the easiest way to transition from the simple to the advanced with almost no work. And it will work just the way it did before. And then finally, if you want to, we can go to target scheduler, where we kind of abstract what we're shooting and how we shoot into two different steps. It becomes simpler.
Wild to me.
It
becomes simpler. Okay.
It does. So basically, our taking pictures for the night is going to be one task.
Okay.
Target scheduler. Go take care of it.
Figure out what we can do.
Right. And all we're going to do on the back end is feed it targets. Hey, I would like to do this. I would like to do this. And you're going to define rules that say, when should you take this? Is it far enough away from the moon? If you're doing, mono, is it oxygen? Well, you probably don't want to shoot that with the moon up, because oxygen really doesn't matter. Like, it's still going to be impacted by light pollution a lot.
Yeah, it blows it out.
Hey, if it's, HA or S2, totally fine to shoot when the moon's up. Just far enough away. How do we prioritize that type of data when the moon's not up? We should prioritize O3 over the other, like all that stuff. And then once you set it up, you're done. You just feed it targets and you just hit play, and you don't have to worry about it.
That's pretty crazy. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
So I'm going to log into, and then I'll share one of my screens. All right, so we're logged into one of my scopes in New Mexico, and this is just a refractor, so nothing crazy complicated. I've already pre-cooled the camera, I've homed the mount, so we're kind of ready to go. So if we went to the sequencer, and I purposely touched nothing from that perspective, so we're going to use kind of the basic one. Let's pick something that's up. Let's look for the veil. That's pretty high in the sky. Let's set that for our framing assistant. So this is an 80 millimeter refractor with an APS-C camera. So we are going to cover, say, a portion of it, maybe like the western.
Either one of them,
Yes.
Either
so
side.
wait there. Here's our framing. Let's add it to our sequence, legacy sequencer.
Okay.
So if we were to do a normal legacy sequence, target options, we want a slew to the target, obviously. We need a center to it. We need to do guiding. We're not rotating because I don't have a rotator. We'll do... for the sake of example, let's say 20 images at 300 seconds each. It's a light, our filter. We'll do HA, binnings 1 by 1. We'll dither every frame. Gain, I'm going to leave all that alone just for argument's sake. And then let's add, it's been a while since I've done this. Is it, where would if I wanted to add another set?
Yeah, that plus sign at the bottom.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So cool. So we're gonna do the exact same thing. All these settings are fine, except now we're gonna change it to, let's say S2 again, just because the moon's up.
Yeah.
Cool. So autofocus on start makes sense. On filter change makes sense. After HFR increase makes sense.
Yeah.
So
very reasonable stuff.
Right. So if we were to go, this is how you would do it, right?
Yeah. And if I were like set up, if I had a portable setup, so I actually use this when I'm, I've been lucky to go out to like Hawaii and a couple dark places, and
nice.
I'll take a little rig with me, and I'll pre-build a legacy sequence like this, and I'll keep it really simple, because when you're out in the field and you do too complicated things break.
Yes.
But so for basic setup, and honestly for the first like 6 months that I used Nina, this was my nightly routine.
Yeah. All right, so you ready for the setting that's going to blow your mind?
Yes.
Okay, this button right here, right next to play.
Yes.
You ever press that button?
No.
Cool. Watch what happens. Do you want to convert this to an advanced sequence? Yes.
Oh.
Done. That's it. We now took everything you did, all those settings, everything is going to run identically.
Okay.
Done. It's now an advanced sequence with everything that you ever did.
Oh. So that gives you like that gives you the same starting spot. So now all of the crazy advanced stuff, you just tack on top. the Meridian, what's hilarious? It took me like 2 nights to figure out how to do the Meridian flip. I'd come out in the morning and be like, why is this thing, what happened here? Because if you don't add the global trigger for Meridian flip and you do an advanced sequence, it'll just sit there. Oh, dude, this is awesome. Okay, that's a really cool way to start.
Yes, I don't know why no one covers this, because this for me was the easiest way, because I do the same thing. I would try and build an advanced sequence. I'd miss so many things. I'd get befuddled. I'd like, why doesn't this work the way I want it to? And so I said, forget this. I'll just use the simple sequence. And I saw that button. I was like, wait, I just built everything I possibly could need, and it's just there. So even anytime I build a new sequence, now I have my own templates and stuff. But before then, anytime I build a new setup, I would literally do this. I would go find a simple target, set it all up, and then hit convert, and then build it from there. That's
slick. And I've got a bunch of saved sequences for a bunch of targets that I can just convert next year when I come back around to them.
So we've got a Meridian flip as global. We've got our cooled camera as a startup sequence. Unpark the scope. You can tweak and tune this as needed. Our target. And then our parallel instructions at the end. Go ahead and park the scope and warm it. Now let's say we want to do something different. Let's say, for the Veil Nebula, we'd like it to loop, until, for a time span, and I'm going to do, until altitude. Yeah, we're going to do that until altitude below 30 degrees. Okay. So now,
and this is where it's handy to know your location and know, hey, when I hit 30 degrees, it's going to get blocked by that tree.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Yes. But once I hit 30 degrees, cool, we move on.
Yeah.
And it would exit the sequence. So it's going to continue to loop with whatever instructions we've given it. So, for example, it's going to take 20 pictures of hydrogen, 20 pictures of sulfur, and then loop again. 20 pictures of hydrogen, 20 minutes of sulfur, until we fail this loop. Well, we can do more than one. Let's say we want to do it for iterations.
Oh.
2 times, maximum of 2 times.
Yeah, or 30 degrees.
Right, or 30
Okay.
degrees. Or a good catcher is loop until time.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's say, I want to no later than midnight.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So if any of these fail, we're done. We exit.
That's awesome. Okay. Okay.
So now, let's do something real fun. Let's clone this. So now we've got the veil twice.
Yeah.
Why might we do that? Well, let's add another rule. Let's say loop until moon altitude. All right, moon into less than 0. Now we're going to do the veil again, but instead we'll change this to oxygen.
So it'll only grab the oxygen because we're trying to build a pool of basically all of the stuff we're interested in. Do you do these like by season? Like how often are you changing this list out?
So I'm going to when I did it this way, I would babysit it based on season mostly. Okay. The only catch is because I'm doing the veil and then the veil again, and I'm waiting for the moon altitude halfway through the month, I've got to flip that.
Yeah.
Because the moon's coming up first, the moon's coming up second. So I don't want to go, all right, I'm going to shoot AJ while the moon's down, and then I'm waiting, and it never gets there, and then 03 happens, and it's gone, that's too late, the moon's up.
Yeah. Okay.
So that required a little bit more work. But I could have, 15 different targets. I could, turn them off.
Yeah.
It's still part of the sequence, but it's not there.
Okay.
It's not going to get activated.
Yeah.
Or I just take this and move it around.
Yeah.
Now it's below.
Okay. That's man, that stupid button. It still blew my mind.
Yeah. All right. Now here's another one. So we have loop conditions.
Yeah.
So those are things that we're gonna stay here and do this thing until we get an exit.
Yeah.
Triggers. Triggers are things that basically every time an action happens, we're gonna fire this off and we're gonna evaluate for things. So for example, reconnect equipment. If you have something that for whatever reason randomly disconnects, well, you can say, hey, every time you go take a picture, reconnect this equipment if it's disconnected. Just make sure, because otherwise you end up in a spot where it's like, hey, I told this thing to happen and it didn't because the device disconnected and I don't know why.
Yeah.
I like to sleep when I'm taking pictures.
Yeah.
So all of these things kind of help build automation in the sense that like I can hit play and go to bed. So yeah, we have global triggers that can just automatically trigger just every time something happens. Now, one really important one that might make your job a lot easier: center after drift.
This will eliminate that one. I haven't played with it yet.
This will eliminate all of your reslewing stuff.
Okay.
So basically what happens is you give it criteria. So for example, evaluate after every exposure, or maybe evaluate after every couple of exposures. If you're doing like super short ones, like 5-second subs, you're trying to do, whatever, you don't maybe want to evaluate every single one because it's plate solving every image to do this.
Okay.
And then you give it a specification of how much it's allowed to drift, because obviously when you're dithering, you're moving around.
Yeah, you're trying
so
to.
there's an amount you expect to move.
Yeah.
But let's say you're guiding and a cloud comes in the way, you suddenly lose the ability to guide for a while, and then you come back in, you take a picture, and you're way off target. Cool. You set this. And you say, all right, let's do 5 arc minutes, and even it's going to translate that to pixels.
That's
so
cool.
In my case, 186 pixels.
Yeah.
Cool.
So worst case scenario, you'll lose that one,
and that's it.
And then after that, it goes, oh, hey, hold on, we've drifted.
And it reslews, recenters, and it does that automatically.
And you set that at the exposure. Can you set that set it at the global or at that trigger level?
So that's going to be at the target level as a trigger.
Level. Okay.
Now you could do it, and we're going to get to this in a minute. You don't have to do it at the individual target level.
Yeah.
We can go bigger.
Okay.
But at the very least, you want it inside of something like this where it can say, hey, because here's the thing. If you do an autofocus routine and you didn't drift, then why plate solve and waste the whole time moving around if you didn't need to do it?
Yeah.
So if you take a picture...
That's the problem I'm running into is I've added so much stuff that these sequences are taking me a long time.
Right. And this is basically, hey, I'm going to assume that my mount is competent enough to stay roughly centered even if I stop tracking. Like the sub would be useless, but I don't care about that. I'm not taking a picture right this second. If I'm stopping for some reason, I'm running autofocus, I'm doing all this stuff, it's fine.
Yeah.
Cool. Let's trust it.
I like that. Okay.
So that eliminates all of your sequencing stuff.
Yeah, good.
So now we have something super basic. We've got our autofocus after filter change, our autofocus after HFR increase.
Yeah.
We've got our exposures, which now are so much less complicated because always just take pictures.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And all of the rest is kind of defined as like parent objects here. So we'll just babysit it. You're gonna do this task, and here's all the things that you're gonna need to watch out for. I call this my complicated loop.
Okay.
So this is pre-target scheduler.
Okay.
Target scheduler got much simpler. So look, watch through it. So meridian flip. So this mount is an equatorial mount, so it requires it. Now, there are certain types of mounts that don't need meridian flips.
Yeah.
So that's not assumed. And if you there's a reason when you built your sequence from scratch that it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Because they're not making any judgments.
You could have a plane wave. Yeah.
Yes. We've got restore guiding. If for some reason after we take a picture guiding is stopped, please go tell PHG2 to restart guiding.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
And then my failures to push over. So in case something happens, emergency level priority, which I've defined from my app as go bypass any alarm, mute stuff, any sleeps, just go wake me up, please. This is important. And then you can pick from a handful of different sounds. You pick something that's obnoxious enough to wake you up, but not so much that you have a heart attack or whatever. I had a wait sequence. So I got tired of logging into my scope right before it was dark and hitting play.
Okay.
So I said, well, why don't I just build some things that just kill time?
Okay.
I said, all right, if I hit play, we're going to start in this first one. So this is a sequential sequence. So sequentials go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 versus a parallel where we do all of them at the same time.
Yeah, whatever you can do.
Like warming your camera and parking your scope. They don't need to wait on each other. They can go. So we're going to wait. And Nina's kind of weird on where its time is.
Okay.
So if you say, I want to wait for 3 o'clock, well, when is 3 o'clock? Yesterday's 3 o'clock? Today's 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
So you end up having to do a handful, at least a couple of wait sequences. Okay. Because if you get too far ahead or behind, it'll go, oh, we're going to wait 18 hours. And I'll go, no, I don't want to do that. So worst case scenario, I might either suppress it or better yet, just change the time so it skips past it. If I started it at a really awkward time. Yeah. We're going to wait for astronomical dusk minus 30 minutes. So T minus 30 minutes, let's start getting things ready. Okay. I'm going to turn on the dew heater for the camera. So this particular one is by a company called Ogma. Then I'm going to send myself a notification. Hey, I'm going to start cooling the camera. Okay. So if I don't get my notifications as it starts getting close to sunset, wait a second. Did I forget to hit play?
Yeah.
Something's wrong here.
Yeah.
All right, then we're going to pre-cool the camera. So if it's really hot during the day, I may not want to jump directly to that temperature because I want to wait till it's closer to time to image. Yeah. So I pre-stage it. So I'm like, hey, let's just get to freezing. Let's just get to 0 degrees Celsius and, take 5 minutes or so. If it's during the summer, I might pad that out to 10 minutes. So now we're, T minus 30 or 25 minutes. Yeah. Cool. All right, now we're going to wait for 15 minutes. Let's go ahead and cool the camera again, all the way down to where I want to. We're going to unpark the scope. We're going to go find home, send my notification, and wait. All right, we've got the mount. It's I'm using a Mighty. I got that used. It's been a nice upgrade.
I bet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got its own nuances and its own quirks, but yeah. Anyways, but it does need to be honed. And so that's something that I might as well do before anything happens. All right, here's the main loop. This is the complicated part, but a lot of it's just safety stuff. So just reconnect to everything. Look, if anything disconnects, I don't want to have to go check everything. Yeah. Just check it for me, please. Flat panel, so I have a Deep Sky Dad flip flat on there. Reconnect the guider if something happens. Reconnect the camera, the filter with the focuser. Switch that's from the Wanderer Astro power box on this one. It's kind of like a Pegasus power box.
Yeah, it's a series of 12-volt outlets.
Yeah, and some USB ports, so I can automate some of the stuff on there. Reconnect the safety monitor, which apparently I put in there twice for some reason, and weather. I'm not doing anything with weather, but it's there, so I might as well have it. I could, if I wanted to, say, hey, if the sky quality is crap, don't bother imaging, even if it's clear. And then this is the big one: loop until time, astronomical dawn. So before I've even set a target inside of this giant loop, it will exit the entire loop once it's dawn, or astronomical dawn.
Oh.
So no matter how badly I screw up a target that's not setting until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, doesn't matter. It will leave.
You stop. Yeah.
You stop.
Wow.
Because I have done that. Where it just kept imaging past sunrise. And it's like,
why is it pointing halfway at the floor? What's going on here?
Right. Yeah. Or worse yet, why is it pointing closer and closer to the sun?
Oh, God. I can't even imagine. Yeah, that sounds like a nightmare.
So having a giant loop
Yeah.
that tells us the overall boundaries of you're going to sit inside of this container while it's nighttime, and you're going to exit once it's not nighttime.
Yeah.
Protects me no matter how bad my targets are.
Yeah.
So again, same thing. We're going to wait. You're going to send me a message. Hey, it's time to start. And then this whole thing is kind of dependent on having safety monitors. So in my case, I have, if it's safe, do these things. If it's not safe, we're going to exit, and we're going to do two things. One, we're going to go park.
Yeah.
Which is its own set, because I'm going to loop while unsafe. I don't want to continuously tell the mount to park over and over and over and over.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So I'm looping while safe. We're going to take pictures.
Yeah.
To transition from that state, we're going to do some things one time, and then we're going to sit over and over and over waiting for it to be safe.
Okay.
So that's dependent on having safety monitors. So if we go inside here, just assume that you don't.
Yeah.
Cool. Open flat monitor, flat panel, unpark the scope, wait, send. Cool. All the fun stuff.
Yeah.
Here's my targets. And then I put a safety net. Kill time. So what happens if I run out of targets for the night, but it's not astronomical dawn?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to start at the beginning, try and do all of these things all over again, send me notifications, and then try and image these, goes failed, start over again, failed. So here's a target. Let's go find that target, loop while it's above the horizon at 28 degrees, move on to the next target. I like to image this while, again, it'll even give you information about how many pictures you've taken. This is not super accurate. I've found all kinds of times where this is wrong. Go check your files. If you're looping through it, it won't matter. Like if it said, I've done 9 out of 12 and I did 3 of them and flip to the next filter, so what? It'll go back around and do it again. Exactly. If you don't have loops, it will exit and you missed everything.
Yes. Yeah. Okay.
So in my case, loop until altitude below, loop until time, loop while altitude. I don't know why I have it twice here, but all kinds of just caveats here. So
just because you have to account for everything.
So here's an important thing. When you're converting from the basic to the advanced, it's going to do something interesting. You've got 3 categories here.
Okay.
So you have the target itself.
Yeah.
You have your prep, imaging, and enclosure.
Okay.
So what do you want to do before, what do you want to do during, and what do you want to do after? So for example, after, we're going to stop guiding.
Yeah.
I don't want you to guide. We're done with that. You move on to the next thing. Well, if you put in targeting image instructions, let's say I put loop until altitude below 30, and we'll get rid of this. They're not technically the same.
Yeah.
Well, what happens when this exits? It says, it's 29 degrees. It exits here.
Yeah.
It stops, and then it goes back to the beginning because this one was set to 28.
Oh.
And it'll go back to here and say, you failed. You're at 29, and then it'll start over. And it's going to be stuck in this loop until you hit 28 degrees, and it'll move to the next target. Okay. So generally, you do not need to put that inside of here. It makes you don't do that. They should be inside of the target itself.
Got it. Okay.
Now you need something here because if you don't put it, it will exit.
Yeah.
And it'll go back to your target prep.
Yeah.
So it's fine to have something. I usually do, loop until altitude, or loop while altitude, but I always got to make sure that this is never something that's going to trigger before this one. So I could put 20. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because this will exit first, and that's the parent.
Okay.
So it'll fire through all of these. I would just put the later night targets towards the end.
Yeah.
Ones that has done.
Yeah.
All right, once it's done, it's going to park. So we've exited our main loop. We go to park. Makes sense. Stop guiding, set tracking to stop, park to scope, close the flat panel, all that fun stuff. Then we're going to go take flats. So in my case, for this particular one, it is, a flip flat. So it's going to close the flip flat. It's going to take all of the images, and then it's going to toggle the light off.
Yeah.
I always put that manually, just in case. It's supposed to turn it off when it's done, but you really don't want to just sit in there blasting light if it doesn't need to be.
Yeah.
Here, again, same thing. Just as soon as I'm done, take them right away while it's still dark out.
Yeah.
We're done. Then we can go ahead and park it, cool,
Yeah,
warm it,
the
all that fun
camera,
stuff,
do the whole thing.
and we're done. And at that
Okay.
point, it stops.
Okay.
So this was a one night sequence. I'd have to log into it every day and hit play.
Yeah.
I am physically setting up and tearing down every night. So all I need is something that just kind of works. I get polar aligned, I hit play, and I can go take a nap or whatever.
Yep.
And this did that. And eventually got to a point where I was like, all right, I'm having to log into multiple scopes, checking multiple different times of like, what's the weather like? At some point, I able to automate some of this even more. And so that's where we get to Target Scheduler. And we're going to hit target scheduling. And I'm going to go ahead and hit play because it's nighttime.
Yeah.
And I want to take images.
Okay.
So it's going to warn me and says there is no target set. And that's because I don't have an actual target defined. I just have the object target scheduler called.
Okay.
And target scheduler is going to pick targets. But Nina doesn't know that.
Oh.
Nina just goes, you haven't given me anywhere to point.
I don't know what we're doing
in the
tonight.
sequence.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Are you sure you want to do this? And the answer
Yeah.
is yes, I do. All right. So and now see, look at this. It says waiting 11 hours and 10 minutes. If you can see that tiny text.
Yes, I can.
Because we have passed that loop. So we're going to stop it. And I'm going to change this from astronomical dawn. I'm just going to change it to time. And it's just going to flip to the right time.
Yeah.
Same time, but Nina treats that differently. And it's going to skip right past it.
Okay.
Same thing. Now it says we're waiting 19 hours. That's even worse.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to flip it to time. And we're going to hit play. That's fine. We're good. All right. Cool. Now, we're going to stop it again. Because what it's trying to do is the pre-cooling, which goes to -0, which I don't want to do.
Yeah.
So we're going to go back to our sequence. And normally, like I said, this is just because I broke it right before we start imaging.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to our startup. We're going to change my pre-cooling to -10 and change that to 0 minutes. And then we'll hit play. And okay. Anything that's already had a checkbox that skips past, so now I can safely go back and change these to astronomical
be,
dawn,
yeah.
astronomical dawn, and they're still ticked, so we're still safe. So even if for some other reason it went all the way back to the beginning, it still wouldn't trigger. We're still safe.
Okay.
So now I can go back here to my pre-cooling and set that to 0 in 10 minutes. All right, so here I have a switch value set. So the Wanderer Astro, which if you look, it thinks that it's currently 90-something degrees outside. I can tell you, it is not.
Yeah.
It is not.
Yeah.
It is quite cold out there. For some odd reason, the temperature sensor on this thing is absolutely bugged. And so what I've done instead is basically just manually set the PWM for it. So I set it to about halfway. It seemed fine. And so all I'm doing is toggling it right before and saying, hey, go ahead and set it to about 114. And that's it.
Out of
and move
256,
on.
I'm guessing.
Out of 255, 0 to 255.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Because 0.
Yeah.
It's 256, but there's 0.
Yeah.
So, but obviously I don't want that running during the day, so I turn it off at the end of the sequence.
Okay.
So we have our kill time, we have our startup. Seems pretty similar.
Yeah.
Same thing. We're gonna wait all the sequence. We pre-cool all the notifications. My phone just blew up a bunch, which is fine. And then I added a couple of different things. So we were finishing, 10 to 15 minutes before true astronomical night.
Yeah.
But it's still dark enough to see stars.
Yeah.
So I have an autofocus run. So I picked, it's fun, loop for one iteration, and loop while safe.
Okay.
So because as a safety monitor, if it's cloudy, I don't want to do this. There is no point.
Yeah.
But because if I said loop while safe alone, it would loop endlessly as long as it's safe, and I would never exit.
Yeah.
So I need the safety net of, don't we try
Just
this
do
once?
it once. Yeah.
Yeah. And I need both of those. Otherwise, one of the other failures will happen.
Yeah.
So we're going to unpark. We're going to slew to an alt-adds position. I can't give it an RA and DEC because that changes. If I say go to M31, well, M31's not up all night.
Yeah.
But if I say alt-adds, that's an absolute position relative to the mount. So just point some arbitrary place in space that's up.
Yeah.
Go plate solve or go focus.
Yeah.
And then I park. I'm doing this well before it's time to image. There's no reason to have it pointed some arbitrary space. Just go ahead and settle down and be ready to go for wherever I tell you to go.
Yeah.
So we've done that. We're doing the autofocus run right now. So we're doing that. And once this is done, it'll move on to the next step, which is now Surprisingly much simpler. So now, all of those things that were global are now inside of our imaging loop. So the meridian flip is only inside of here.
Okay.
If I'm parked during the daytime, I don't need to care about meridian flips. That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Restore guiding, reconnect all the equipment, all the autofocus stuff. This now is out here instead of individual targets because there aren't individual targets from the sequencer's perspective. There is just one object.
Okay.
Target scheduler.
Yeah.
So that all kind of has to sit outside of it.
Okay.
Center after drift.
Yeah.
Again, it's whining because I have no targets currently.
Yeah.
It's fine. And obviously, the reconnect all the equipment. All right. Now, our loop conditions. A little bit different. Astronomical dawn, and then while targets remain tonight. So target scheduler is aware of the targets that it could potentially shoot.
Okay.
And if there aren't any, well, then we park. We're done.
You're done.
We exit. There's nothing else that we're getting done tonight.
Yeah.
So then we go into our normal safe, unsafe, transition states.
Yeah.
So our safe to image is very simple. Loop while safe. Again, target scheduler while targets remain. We want to sit in here while those things are true.
Yeah.
We're going to unpark to begin, open the flat panel, we send a notification, and then one object.
Yeah.
Target scheduler. That's it.
Okay.
Inside of here, there's a couple of sequences I've got. No triggers, nothing crazy. There's all these things you can do. We don't need a whole lot.
Yeah.
So before wait, park and close. This is just basically if we're not actively imaging something, what would you like to do?
Yeah.
You don't have to do anything. You can just let it sit there. But
Yeah.
again, I'd prefer it to be in a safe position than an unsafe position.
Sure.
So we're going to go ahead and park it and close the flat panel, which covers the end of the scope.
Yeah.
After unpark, open. Okay, so if we were waiting, that's what we're doing. After we're done waiting, we're doing there. For a new target, nothing. After new target, nothing. None of these need anything. A target schedule will take care of all of this.
Okay.
So all we're doing is basically saying, hey, as long as it's safe, and if you don't have safety monitors, that's even less complicated.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, is it nighttime and you haven't manually stopped it? Target scheduler.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And then the same transitions to park, sit here while it's unsafe.
Yeah.
And then park and do flats is a little fun. Target scheduler is really cool. So we have target scheduler flats instead of calling flats manually.
Oh.
And that is because if you're using a flats panel, the only caveat is at this time, target scheduler does not work with sky flats.
Okay. Okay.
Because target scheduler works based on if you've ever gone to the flat settings, if you take flats, it will tell you, oh, we learned based on your pass that these are the settings we need.
Yeah.
And it expects those same things every time, whereas sky flats are dynamic.
Yeah.
So basically, the special thing about this is I now no longer need to manage which flats I'm taking from a mono perspective.
Okay.
If I took pictures of HA, it will take flats for HA.
Nice.
If I didn't take pictures of S2, it won't take any flats for S2.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Because I was trying to babysit that. Remember, did I have any this night?
Yeah.
This night was no 03 because it was the moon, and I'd have to keep logging in, or I'd forget a couple of days, and there weren't any.
Yeah. Wow.
So
okay.
it's now flipped filters are ready, and it's running autofocus because I have it to autofocus per filter.
Yeah.
And then there is one other caveat here. So this loop condition, loop while variable we defined is greater than 0.
Okay.
So I said, hey, make the value an arbitrary number greater than 0.
Okay.
So it will always loop. So
Okay.
everything sits inside of the outer loop. Literally everything, except
Yeah.
for the value you've defined. So as long as this number is a true value, it will never exit. Ever.
Okay.
So I hit play, and I can leave this for a week.
And it'll just automatically
And it'll just
come up,
keep
go
going.
down. Okay. Wow.
Yep. I don't have to do anything. So this was the whole hands-off. I don't need to touch this at all.
Whoa.
Unless Nina has an issue,
Yeah, you
memory,
get some alert
some bug,
yeah.
something I need to intervene. But from a night-to-night perspective, I don't touch this.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you're setting up a time down, don't need to do that. But
Yeah.
Target Scheduler is still useful because you just have one sequence and you're not touching it. You're not
Yeah.
going reordering targets. I want to move this one. No.
Yes. You're describing my
All of
evenings
that-
lately.
All of that goes away. You literally, once you're set up, and if you,
Yeah.
even if you don't have Like your setup is semi-permanent, like it kind of stays in place.
It's a tripod that doesn't move. It's the
Right.
Meade Giant Field tripod with my Lost Mandy on top and the C11.
So you're not doing polar alignment every night.
No, I'll do it. I think I do it like once a month, just to make
Cool.
sure.
So
It doesn't really
for
move.
you,
Yeah.
then you just hit play and you walk away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that gets us to Target Scheduler. It's a little confusing when you start, but basically you have a profile, and that's just the name of your actual Nina profile.
Okay.
So whatever you've called that, that's what this is.
Okay.
And then you're going to define different types of categories, if you will, and you define the rules for them. So for example, hey, if I won't be able to image for 30 minutes,
Yeah.
don't even bother.
Don't even start. Yeah.
Just don't even start.
Okay.
Minimum
Okay.
altitude. For example, I have one that says 25-degree horizon.
Uh-huh.
So there's a target that's just never getting really high. And I gatekeep, hey, 30 degrees.
Yeah.
Don't ever image below that. But for this one, I got to make an exception.
You're like, I gotta try. I have to try.
I got to
Yeah.
try.
Yeah.
Hey, minimum altitude, maximum altitude. Maybe you have an issue where when you're pointed at, straight up, in Dobson's hole, your mount just really struggles.
Yeah.
Or you've got a mount like the scope is super long, you get real close, you're like,
Gotta hit that leg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're not going to do that. There's a custom horizon, our meridian window. So basically, hey, how far on either side should we just straight up just stop? Don't even try and image. Just stop. Filter switch frequency. How often should we be switching filters? So if we have a 5-hour window, do you want us to go red for all night? Or do you want to go red for 10 and then green for 10, blue for 10, all automatically?
So you can try and get sort of usable data.
Yes.
In
Well,
a
not
night.
even just usable data, but
something
the
you can play
same-
with. Yeah.
The same consistent data, because what happens if like the transparency is great one night and then garbage the next?
Oh.
All of my red data is amazing and my green is garbage.
I see. Yeah. That actually
So if
that's a
I-
much better
yeah.
reason for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, as mono imagers, it's really annoying to have like 2 channels and nothing that I can do with it.
Yeah.
But from this perspective, it's like, look, I want consistent data.
Yeah.
I want them to be roughly the same. I don't want to have one that's just wildly better than the other.
Yeah.
So, and then dither after every. So all of this stuff is kind of abstracted out. So for this particular target, everything's dither after every image.
Yeah.
But let's say you were doing a target that was stupid bright, and you were like, hey, I'm doing a set of like 30-second exposures.
Yeah.
Dithering after every image is going to take forever.
Yeah.
Like, that's just a miserable.
Double
So for
my
that
capture
target,
time. Yeah.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to change that. Smart exposure selection is just, hey, how are we going to kind of the algorithm that we're using
Yeah.
to try and figure that out. Image grader. This is kind of cool. You're going to define a target, what defines completion, and then it's going to evaluate the images once it gets to like 70 or 80%.
Uh-huh.
And if it grades all the images, so these uses the data from like Hocus Focus.
Okay.
So these stars are huge, bad, automatically reject them.
Yeah.
These ones, eccentricities, really bad, reject them. Doesn't delete them, just puts them in a folder.
Interesting.
And then, enable image grader, obviously, yeah, you got to have that to do it. Mosaic project, if you're telling it that this whole thing is a mosaic together, handle that appropriately.
Yeah.
And then here's all the math. I don't touch these, but it's there if you want to.
Yeah.
So this is basically how does it decide what target to pick.
Okay.
So if we're almost finished with the target, do we hurry up and do that one, or do we do the one that's setting first, even though we haven't really started that one yet?
Yeah.
Like, how do you define what you want to do?
Yeah.
So you set all this stuff up, and then you just never touch it again.
Okay.
So, I've got the Crescent Nebula. I realized I'd missed some data, so I needed to get a little bit more. It's finished that one. But you'll see here, acquired 28, accepted 25.
Okay.
So as it got close to the finish line, it evaluated the images and said, some of these don't make the cut.
Yeah.
I need more.
Oh, that's really cool.
Because you could say, hey, I want 20 hours of sulfur, 20 hours of hydrogen, 20 hours of oxygen.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
And then it will continue to shoot that target until it's decided it's done, and then it won't shoot it anymore. And then, so this was a high priority. So this is an active target, and this is high priority. So high is better than normal, is better than low.
Yeah.
So you have back burner targets. Just if there's nothing else
if
going
you got nothing
on,
going on.
right, do something. Don't sit there and idle and twiddle your thumbs not taking pictures. I'd rather you do something, but it's not something that's forefront of my list of things.
Yeah.
Prioritize other things first. So you can weight all of these.
Okay.
if we pick a specific target, so let's pick something like the horse head. It's a 2-panel mosaic, whatever. Luminance, green, red, blue, hydrogen, sulfur. Oh, so there's the center after drift. So we just took the image, plate solved it, and said, are we safe? Are we pointed where we're supposed to be? Cool, keep going.
Nice.
And then it dithered because I'm dithering after every image.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing 10, 15-minute subs,
You have
a
to.
dither is worth it.
Yeah.
It's not that much of a time loss.
Yeah.
So, and then ASHO. So that's where these come in. So you define what you want. So maybe I want some HA 300, some 900s. Maybe I want some 30-second reds, 60, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then you call those. I would say I'd like this many of this particular filter combination.
Oh.
So what's the gain and offset for that filter?
Dude, that's interesting.
So once you
Okay.
get to like a target level, you're just saying, all right, I want some red, I want some green, I want some blue. You know what to do. We're done.
Yeah.
I don't need to keep defining this over and over because in an advanced sequencer, you have to specify the gain. You have to specify the offset.
Yeah.
You have to specify your mode if your camera has different modes.
Mhm.
If you don't do that, you're going to get weird images that you're not ready for.
Yeah.
Here, I just say, look, these are global things. These should not change from night
Every
to night.
time I ask for red, this is what I mean. Red 300.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. So here's my gain, here's my offset, my binning, all that fun. The readout
Yeah.
mode. Hey, what's the acceptable twilight?
Ah.
So, for example, HAS2, we might have a little bit more wiggle room where we can wait till it's not 100% dark.
Yeah.
And globally, hey, I'd like to dither if you don't have any instructions, dither after every image.
Huh.
The avoidance, moon avoidance. So hey,
Yeah.
for red, needs to be super far away. But the important thing is this: moon must be down. True.
Ah, okay.
If the moon's not down, we don't take pictures.
Yeah, exactly.
So red, green, blue, luminance, and oxygen are all going to be set that way.
Yeah.
For hydrogen, moon set down, false.
Yeah.
It 100% wants to take pictures when the moon is up.
Yeah.
And I have it at 65 degrees, and this width of 14 basically means if the moon is a quarter full, I don't need to be 65 degrees away.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that bright.
It's not
fine.
going to mess you up.
So there, in Target Scheduler's documentation, there's this whole chart and matrix of what these variables mean. And basically, all they boil down to is how much of a push do you need away?
Yeah.
How much do you relax that like, because obviously if the moon is 0% full, I can be on top of it. I
really
don't
does.
care.
Yeah,
It doesn't
exactly.
matter.
Yeah.
You couldn't literally, but as it gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer, I can get closer and closer and closer, and then when it's fully bright, I need to be as far away from it as I've defined.
Yeah. Okay.
So
that's pretty cool.
yeah, and then scheduler preview, I can say, hey, what am I gonna run tonight?
Oh,
Go show me.
nice.
Here's what I'm gonna do all night long. One target, because it's up all night. It's the
Yeah.
highest priority of the things. It's not gonna move. It
Yeah.
moves up the whole night, so I'm never gonna do 03 or whatever.
Yeah.
If I've got a complicated sequence, it will show me, hey, we're going to wait for 30 minutes because there's no targets out that you want to shoot in the beginning of the night, which
Yeah.
gives you the, hey, I should probably add a target.
Yeah. Find something.
You
Yeah.
know, or I'm going to image for a while and I've got a gap and then I'm going to do another target, or I'm flipping around and you're going to go, hey, I don't think this is right. I can tweak this because I didn't define things the way I should have. That's on me.
Yeah.
But if nothing else fails, like, it's just going to go take pictures.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
If we stop for just a second, because this is running, let's flip over to the 135. So same thing. So the exact same target schedule. I literally copied and pasted it. I just took the
okay.
entire. So when you save the file,
Yeah.
because none of this is like specific to that scope, or some of it is. I had to tweak a couple things.
Sure.
But the whole loop is based around target scheduler, and target scheduler is an abstracted concept. So if I define different targets here, it doesn't. That's all it's looking at is the database of targets. So there's a few things that are different here, but pretty much the entire thing is the same. So we have my kill time sequence just waiting, identical. I literally just copied and pasted. Cooled here is just, hey, because this is sitting here never ending, if it gets really toasty, I don't want you going to 40 degrees Celsius. So
Yeah.
hey, 30 is fine.
Okay.
If it does for some odd reason get warmer than 30, just cool it down a little bit.
Huh. Okay.
Because it's sitting,
Is
in
this the one in New Mexico?
yeah.
Okay.
So in the summer it gets pretty warm.
Oh yeah.
So It's never been a problem, but it just makes me feel better. So,
yeah, for sure. And why not?
Might as
It
well.
can do it. Yeah.
Exactly. So startup sequence is a little bit different. My pushover. I made sure to specify which scope
Yes,
I was in,
that's good.
because otherwise I just get random notifications. Something's been like, this
One of my
doesn't tell me
telescopes is
much.
cold. I don't know which one.
Yeah, yeah, and worse yet, something's wrong. Which one's wrong?
my
I need to
God,
deal with this
yeah.
now. So all my notifications here, all the normal stuff here, and then if we look at plugins, target scheduler, different targets.
Yeah.
40 hours is my minimum. 30 to 40 hours is my minimum for a target.
Whoa.
And doing 30 to 40 hours per panel at 6 panels,
yeah.
I'm not gonna have time.
No.
That's gonna be a multi-year project.
Yeah,
And I was
exactly.
just like, I can't commit that kind of time to one target. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna not do it for now. And then this is actually big enough field of view that I can hit it in one shot. And I was like, done. Let's do it.
Yeah. Nice.
So I have, high priority targets, mosaic ones, normal priority targets, variable products, just things like, hey, I might tweak this. I don't want to
Yeah.
put it in with a normal. I'm gonna tweak this as I need it.
Yeah.
The other thing you can do is, and this is not intuitive, but you can copy a target and paste a target as a template, which is super nice. So let's say
Okay.
I wanted to do this exact sequence for another
Yeah.
target. Just copy it, go here,
Yeah.
and paste it.
Oh, okay.
Cool. Now let's go edit it. Let's go find another target. Here is import coordinates. Let's go
what's it
find.
importing it from?
So if you save targets,
Uh-huh.
have you ever done that?
Yes.
Okay. So let's say I want this one. Now I've changed my target. Now it says Filmentary.
Ah,
I hit save, and now that's that.
okay. Can
So
you
now-
ask it? Can you kick over to like the framing guide or anything like that? Like, is there any way to do that? Or do you have to
So,
copy paste?
Yeah. No, you don't. So if we go to here, let's go to edit again.
Yeah.
And let's hit import coordinates. You've got a few options. Framing assistant. So you just pull it
there
directly
is.
from the framing
Yeah,
assistant.
Yeah.
You can do it from the sequencer target, which is what I've traditionally done. Just because I had used that for so long, I had this whole bank of
Yeah.
targets, and I was like, it's the same exact setup. I might as well import all of these. Or a planetarium. So if you're in a planetarium, you've connected to Nina, and you're just pointing at a target, and you just go, hey, just pull this in.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we can go frame
Okay, good.
something
Good,
and
good,
just say, go pull it directly.
Cool.
And then, because let's say this is what I wanted to do, red, green, blue luminance. Rather than inputting that all over again, just clone one and paste it.
Yeah. Exactly.
The other thing you can do is, let's say I want this target and I actually want to move it to normal priority.
Sure.
I can copy this, and if I go to normal priority, I now have an option to move target.
Ah. Okay. That is a little.
So I will
counterintuitive.
move the entire object from
Yeah.
the bucket that it's into another bucket.
Yeah.
And that might not just be priority. It could be, you changed like the rules on stuff and you wanted to move it to somewhere else.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of a high level stuff
Okay.
here. But from the end of the night, all I literally do is I hit play once and then I walk away for a week and check on it later.
Whoa.
And even if I was, like I said, doing it every night, uncover your scope, log into it, hit play, no matter what time. Like
Yeah.
3 hours before sunset, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You built your sequence around that fact, you're fine. Done. Move on.
That's pretty cool. And I think there's a lot of people that do the sort of nightly setup, and so I've got the Lost Mandy on the giant tripod. That one stays pretty
Right.
steady, but I've got a SEM 40. That's the one I'm like running experiments on and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm constantly
absolutely.
switching stuff out there, and I
Right.
bump it so that one I
Sure.
do polar lamp a little bit more often.
Right.
But I think even
But
with
you-
that one, there's probably still usefulness in
Sure.
building stuff out like this.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, obviously, if you're trying an experiment, you're going to be moving on to whatever you're doing from that night. At that point, you would use kind of the basic advanced sequencer setup.
Yeah.
Hey, we're going to pick our target for the night. Let's. If you were, I'm sure you've done this, but if you have a target, I'm going to take a target, I'm going to drag it safely down way outside of here so I don't
Yeah.
screw something up.
Yeah.
And it somehow moved to the very top. That's brilliant.
Of course.
If you have another target, you can drag it on top of the existing target and it will replace it.
Yeah. Oh wait, replace it.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yep. So if you have your entire sequence set out, but you're like,
Yeah.
you know what? I'm done with this target. I want to do a different target.
The other one.
Just drag it on top.
Ah, instead of clicking it
Change
off.
the target.
Okay. That's
You don't have to
pretty
recreate
good.
the whole thing. This entire thing is done. So some people will literally create a blank one of these and then save it. So there's an option here to save as a current template for instruction sets.
Oh.
So even if you're using this, you could say, hey, I'm going to do the whole set out for...
Sure.
Let's close this one out.
Yeah.
And let's do, a camera with different modes, like the QHY268, or in this case, the Ogma. They have different modes for things. So, hey, I'm going to have an instruction set, a template.
Yeah.
Mode 1, sulfur, hydrogen, oxygen. Mode 0, luminance, red, green, blue.
Yeah.
All the settings already dialed in, but no target.
Yeah.
Save it as a template.
Yeah.
Now, you can call that as a template. Just drag that template in, and then drag your target on top. And you can reuse that same thing with all of your settings over and over and over.
Yeah.
And the only thing you're going to have to change is how many pictures you want of each.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you can leave the whole thing, but just have 0.
Yeah. And then every time you go in there and you drop a new target, you say, okay, let's go for this much. That's
so if you're picking new targets every night because you're running an experiment, have the whole sequence built out with no target.
Yeah.
And just drop your target for the night. Hit play.
Yeah. Huh. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
No, I really do want to play with this the target scheduler. I think that's going to be really fascinating, because there'll be nights where I'm like, okay, I do want to try and get these two sort of targets, and I'll set up one after the other, hoping that everything goes fine. But a lot of the times something will happen with that first one, and it won't move on to the second one, and I've wasted the whole night.
Right, and that's where the advanced sequencer of having those loop conditions of, because you're like, hey, I want to take 40 pictures. And I'm like, well, how long does 40 pictures take? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
It could take the exact amount of time, but what happens if HFR keeps increasing, and so it runs autofocus after like half the pictures?
Exactly.
Or clouds come in and it can't guide, so it doesn't take all this stuff. And it's like, no, we're just going to give you some guidelines to sit inside of. At this time, whatever the rules are, we're done. We move on.
Yeah, I like that. That's super helpful, man.
Awesome.
I've got so many notes on my note. My notebook has it's a lot of stuff for me to go through tomorrow. This is going to be great. So we met in the Astroworld TV Discord channel. How long have you been active there?
Not super long, probably a couple of months.
Okay.
I'm in a lot of different Discord channels.
Are
It's
you? Okay.
kind of hard. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm in Leucomaticos. I'm in
Leucomaticos as well. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a super active one.
Yeah, and I'm in Astro Biscuits, which is just way too many people. They're just under 25,000 members.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
So I can't keep up with that.
You know, it's funny. When I started the YouTube channel like a month ago, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna put out content, and I started getting one or two questions like, hey, do you have a Discord? And I'm like, no, guys, we need to chill.
Yeah.
Because I have other hobbies, like I'm into, I have a couple buddies that are into like model making and stuff like that.
Nice.
And so I've got like 7 Discords there, and I'm not gonna do it. I don't want to. Yeah. There's already other places for us to congregate, so I'd rather just I send people to Leucomatico and Astroworld TV, because Astroworld TV there's space in there, right? There's space in there to have conversations. And so I was like, just go talk to me in there, and we'll meet there. Thank you again for all of that information. I'll be cutting that together into a video that's going to end up on the main channel. I'll probably be releasing small excerpts of it, because I think some of it is really interesting in its own right, just in these small chunks. But yeah, so Justin, is there anywhere that you want to send people, anything you want people to know about, or any sort of things you want to support, if you want to give any of those a shout out right now? Sure.
Yeah. You can definitely find me in the Astroworld community. I'm there, and a handful of other Discords lurking. I jump in when I can. There's a lot of conversations going on, so I don't always get a chance to support everyone, but I try and help when I can. If you find me, ask me questions. I'm always glad to jump in and help. But so are our local communities. Find a local astronomy club, get to know the people there. There are so many people there that are so eager to share the knowledge that they have. We're a passionate bunch and always eager to transfer that knowledge. And I can't think of a person I've encountered that's want to gatekeep the knowledge they have. That's absolutely fueled my astro journey significantly. I definitely would not be where I am today without the local community that I've encountered. So, yeah.
I would agree. I think especially for a lot of us, I think we gatekeep ourselves, right? I think we're like, oh, I shouldn't ask this question. I'm gonna look dumb. But I think what I found is like, if you're going there with the good intent and like you've tried to do a little bit of research about it, that people don't find any question to be dumb. And I think we've all been in whatever situation you've gotten yourself into. There's probably someone that's been there before. So
Absolutely.
Again, if you find it interesting, just keep digging. But yeah, thank you again, Justin, for all your time today, and I will keep bothering you on Discord. Astroworld TV is a it's a good Discord channel. There's lots of room in there to talk, and the people are pretty productive. If you want productive feedback, they'll give it to you. If not, throw your picture in there. Somebody will give it a thumbs up, and you'll be like, yeah, I feel good about that now. So yeah, for Deep Sky Labs, I'm Francisco, and thank you so much again, Justin. And I'm sure we'll probably do this again in the future.
I would love to do it.
Awesome. Well, clear skies.
Clear skies.